All right, friends, I have something really cool for you today. This is a unsolicited uh, recommendation for you to purchase something. This is not a paid advertisement in any way, shape, or form. I'm pretty sure that the story engine, well, I know for a fact that the story engine has absolutely no idea that I'm recording this. But I wanted to bring you something really cool that I have just enjoyed using tremendously. This is a tool for world building, for idea generation. One of the things I always talk about with creativity is that the way you generate an infinite number of ideas is not by closing yourself off, but by opening yourself up to all sorts of other experiences and new ideas. Right? That's how you really kickstart your creativity. And the deck of worlds from the story engine is a great way to do this. I'm going to be showing you the tool from them that I use the most. However, I will talk about a little bit about some of their other tools at the end of this video. So I want to show this to you. I decided to make this video because I used to use this deck of worlds pretty regularly because it's just super fun. I really enjoy it. It's a good time. But I recently, I had backed their Kickstarter a while ago for another project called the Lore Builders deck, and they had, as one of the add-ons, you could get all of the expansions, a complete set of the expansions for the deck of worlds. So I got them. They finally arrived. I just pulled them out. So these are empty boxes. They're already mixed in. But here we have, Worlds of Chrome and Starlight. This is science fiction. Tide and Tidings, Coastline, Blight and Shadow, a horror expansion. We've got deserts. We've got Arctic. We've got a general fantasy. Worlds of Myth and Magic. These are so cool, okay? And I'm so excited to show you how this product works and how I use it to generate just an infinite number of ideas. All right, so it's super easy to use, and we're gonna start by picking up three. I think that's three region cards. Okay, so we flip these over, and we now have three different places where our world could be, right? Different places that our setting could establish. And one of the reasons that I love this tool so much is because in a lot of ways, I believe that stories really start with the place they're in. We hear this classic, you might take, let's say for instance, the hero's journey, right? And you're like, okay, well, the hero's journey is essentially the same no matter where it's set. And well, that's true on a technical level, because the hero's journey is going to go through the same steps all the way through the story. It's really also far from true. Like, it's not true at all, because the hero's journey, when you start in a peaceful valley, idyllic agricultural setting, is very different than when you start in, let's say, the slums of a capital city or on a ship, right? And so there are thematic elements throughout the story that are going to be the same, but the story itself is going to differ drastically depending on where it is. Let's say we're going to tell the story about an orphan rising to be king. It's going to look very different if you're starting in the capital, if you're starting in the caves, or if you're starting in the sea, right? And so, in my opinion, and this is opinion, but I will fight on this hill, the setting of your story is almost more important than the story itself, right? Because it really forms the foundation of everything that you're going to do. And so let's go ahead and pick one of these. We're going to go ahead and say caves. So I can discard these region cards, and I'll be shuffling these before I use them again, so I'll just drop them back on top. But once we have figured out our caves, we're going to go ahead and pick up our 3 landmark cards. You can do this with 1 card off the top if you've shuffled well, or you can do it with 5 cards off the top. It's really up to you how many you want to pick. All right. And so what do we have here? These are landmark cards. These are important places in the world. Okay. So we have a cave system. And, you know, we're going to say that this cave system is underneath an active volcano. All right. So, I mean, we could say that the cave system is pretty magical, and so it's full of meadows, right? Can you see how just shifting the location is going to drastically change the feeling that this story gives? We're going to go ahead and say volcanoes, though, because volcanoes are exciting, and we like exciting. So now we're going to look for a namesake card. All right. And so the namesake card is going to help us identify where what this place is called and start to build out some of the lore, right? Because as soon as we say without gods, right, we're clarifying something about the world. We're starting to generate specificity, and it's going to start to, again, shape the kind of stories that we tell. So what do we have here? In the crater, of vines, of builders, of maggots. Ooh. So this is the horror expansion. You can see this is the sci-fi expansion, and then this is the from the base expansion. Ooh, that whispers. You know, it's really hard. It's really hard to turn down that whispers. And so we're going to say that. Okay? It's the volcano that whispers. Whoa. Why is the volcano whispering? That's the real question. What is it about this volcano that is that's going to whisper to our hero? Well, in fact, we're going to find that out because the origin card records a significant event that has happened in this place, right? So we have a bunch of caves under the volcano that whispers. Or maybe it's the caves that whisper underneath the volcano. I'm not sure yet. We can decide that a little bit later. All right. So we could say this is from the these are all from, I did shuffle these, but these are all from the sea expansion. Okay. Built from or in the remains of a beached leviathan, last known location of a sea monster, shaped by tidal actions or the birthplace of a famous pirate. What else do we have? We could say it's founded by shipwreck survivors, right? Some who have been driven mad. So these are more historical. Was once attached to the mainland. Oh, that could be actually really interesting. How did this volcano separate itself from the rest of the mainland? But you know, I really like this is hard because I really like last known location of a sea monster and built from the remains of a beached leviathan. So what's interesting about this is the term leviathan here is not necessarily it's not necessarily defined yet, right? So a leviathan, we could say, ooh, 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 ooh. I don't know why this is going full horror all of a sudden, but we could say that a leviathan in this world is not, in fact, a large whale or that type of creature, but is instead an elder god or some sort of ancient being. And so the leviathans could be, in our setting, an ancient deity or an ancient being that that crawled into this volcano to die. And so now we have a cave system as the setting of our story inside this volcano. And at the heart of it is either a dead or dying leviathan that whispers to our protagonist. So attribute cards are going to be present day features. So if an origin card is like what has happened in the past, right? The Leviathan, now we know, has crawled into this volcano to either hide or die, or we're not sure, or maybe be reborn. We're not sure. The attribute card is, what is this area known for now? So let's see. A unique magic system, unscalable walls, something in the air, or it's the habitat of a stinging species. What about here? Known for executing pirates, amphibian habitat, a kelp forest, that could be interesting, or harsh tariffs. Known to be as a good place to disappear. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Has an unusual hue of water. Okay, that might actually have to be it. Because as the whispers from this volcano, as the Leviathan breathes in and out, that's how we get our tides, right? And these tides come into and out of the cave, and the water so far has been all the same. It's been, it's always the same color, except on certain occasions when the water changes hue. And when the water changes hue, let's move this up a little bit. When the water changes hue, something is afoot. That's when the whispers get particularly bad. All right, and that brings us to our Advent card. And an Advent card is something that might change in the future. It's some way that things are going to shift or they're going to open up new possibilities, right? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is so good. A past tragedy is starting to bleed through to the present. What have we just been talking about? We've just been talking about the death of this great being, or the dying breaths of this great being. And maybe the being has died for real, or maybe the being has been hiding, and now others are coming to find them, right? A creature has claimed this area as its lair. That's okay, but it's not quite as good here as a past tragedy. But what else do we have? They've just created a new form of life. Oh my goodness, that could be fantastic as well. Or an alien species is running rampant through the ecosystem. That one, we could work with that one, but I really like this. They've just created a new form of life. Oh my goodness. Do you see how I hope you're getting how this works, right? Because this is so it's so fun. It's so fun. A degrading ice sheet is causing a geological catastrophe. Rising seawater. Okay, so this is an interesting one because, here we have some sort of supernatural elements, right? But what about this one? Here we have something that appears to be man-made, but maybe the ice sheet is degrading because the Leviathan has finally died, right? And so the ice that it was using to seal its body is no longer stable, and it's sloughing off in giant sheets. And the result is that the water levels are rising, bringing an unusual hue of water, right? And the dying thoughts of this Leviathan are the whispers that are echoing in these volcanic caves. Do you understand? So I hope you can see that, like, no matter what we choose here, right? No matter which of these three we choose, all of a sudden we have a story. All of a sudden we have a really cool story, right? And you can do this over and over and over and over and over again and generate just so many interesting things. And what's really cool is that if I wanted to say, we're gonna take this one, right? We're gonna say a past tragedy is starting to bleed through to the present. Okay, cool. So at this point, what is going to happen when our hero leaves home? Well, our hero is going to need to go somewhere else, right? Our hero is going to need to discover a new location, because maybe while the hero is searching through the caves, they run into these whispers, and this dying Leviathan calls to them and says, you know, I really need you to go and do a thing, right? I need you to go to this temple and bring my soul crystal to this temple so that I may live again, because if I don't live again, some catastrophe is going to befall anything. Where is the hero going to go? Is it going to be a mountain? Is it going to be a rainforest? Is it going to be a kingdom? Right? And once we have picked another one, we can start this process all over again. It's going to be the ruins. Oh, that says river, not ruins. That's okay. It's going to be a river kingdom. And this river kingdom, which is so very different than the harsh volcanic environment that our hero has grown up in, is going to be rich and full of people, merchants plying their trade along the river, and pirates and excitement and adventure. Except that it will be called the River of Graves, because so many people die each year. Or maybe it's tradition to throw dead bodies into the river, where they sink to the bottom, never to be heard from again. Maybe this kingdom was founded by witches, or used for centuries of burial. Ooh, okay. So this is really fascinating, because while it's called a kingdom, and he originally believes that this deity, this Leviathan, is talking about a river kingdom, the human kingdom on the surface, he's not. He is actually talking about the kingdom inside the river that has been used for centuries for burials. Let's see. And there is an annual magical phenomenon that happens in this underwater kingdom, where the dead for one night will rise. Every year they'll rise, and it has shaped, or maybe once a month, I don't know, but it's shaped both the underground or the underwater kingdom and the surface level kingdom as well. And now locals are starting to fall ill with the same strange symptoms, and it will be up to our hero to figure out how to fix that problem. And so you can do this ad nauseum, right? You can just keep creating these interesting worlds and interesting places, and then you can shuffle them all back up, and you can do it again, and you literally have an almost infinite number of worlds or places in your world that you can build. And the way you build these are going to then impact your story. But that's not all. The story engine has a lot more than just the deck of worlds, right? They also have what's called the story engine. it's a little bit confusing because the company is the story engine, but then they also have the story engine. And the story engine is this same thing, but for building out stories. And then they also have the Lore Masters deck, which is this same thing, right? The same idea, but for building the lore for your stories. And I'm super excited because in addition to picking up some of the other expansions, I got some of the story engine expansions as well. Maybe I'll do a little video on actually using them, how I would use them if I were building a story. But this product is just so good. Like, it is rare. It is rare that I use a product this much or this consistently in order to help me with my stories. But this one is just so good. Like, I can't say enough good things about it. The quality of the cards is fantastic. The art is amazing. It really is just, the prompts are awesome and varied, and like, it is worth every single penny that I paid. And I'm very impressed with the new expansions. Like I said, there's the base set, and then there are 6 expansions out currently. And it's really just incredibly impressive. And then in addition to the deck of worlds, you can do exactly the same thing with building stories through the story engine, or lore for your stories through the Lore Masters deck. And yeah, you should absolutely 100% go and pick yourself up a copy. I'll have links to all of that stuff in the description. I'm not getting paid for this. I'm not getting anything out of this. It is just 100% like, I think this is fantastic, and I want to talk to you about it. And then the other thing that they do, this is for the Lore Masters deck, but you can use it pretty much for all of them. Or you can do this same thing. They have these cool pages where you can fill out for your factions, for your figures, for your events, for your locations, right? And so I could fill all of this out to record my stuff, to create a world Bible that includes all of the lore. Really just a super fun product. And like I said, you should absolutely go out and pick one up for yourself.